One of LEGO's most beloved sets, Disney Castle, is set to retire in less than a month, and earlier this year, LEGO released its successor, Beauty and the Beast Castle. After finishing both, Beauty and the Beast Castle has some obvious improvements, but some major shortfalls. Let's discuss. I'm gonna let my build footage play here while I talk about this set. So as far as basics on this set, it's 21 bags and 2,916 pieces. Most of the bags felt pretty small, but I noticed there was a lot of variation in time, so I'll just put all the times on screen here. But it took me 6 hours and 16 minutes. There's 5 minifigures and 6 extra characters. The minifigures included are Belle, the Beast, Belle's dad, Gaston, and Gaston's sidekick, Le Faux. Personally, this was entirely perfect. I think they got all of the major characters. Beauty and the Beast was referenced in the Disney Castle set, however, there were not any minifigures to represent them, so this was a really cool addition. Plus, all the characters got a little accessory, so that was very nice too. Belle got a book, her dad got a lantern, Beast got a mirror, Le Faux got a torch, and Gaston got a bow and arrow. Also, later in this build, we will come across this like a lot later, but the Beast can also transform into the prince. There's a minifigure head underneath, and the Beast face is kind of like a helmet. There's a hidden compartment we will add in bag 19 where you can hide away either the beast head or the hairpiece depending on how you're displaying it. I really like it when LEGO designers add in little storage spots for display sets. I talked a lot about this with my review of the 101 Dalmatians puppy, but I hate it when you get these beautiful display sets with options and then you have these random pieces sitting on your shelf that don't look nice. 101 Dalmatians had a crazy good compartment, by the way, just to clarify. We also have 6 extra characters to round out the crew from the movie. We have Mrs. Potts and Chip, Lumiere, Cogsworth, Fifi, and the Madame de la Grande Bouche. I wasn't expecting the Madame de la Grande Bouche or Fifi to be in this because they're not in any of the standard photos that show the set and the minifigures, nor are they on the box. So that was a fun little surprise. I was also extremely surprised to see this many characters, and I definitely love that. One thing I was kind of thrown off by with this set is the color. For some reason, I never pictured the castle as purple, and it's not! Okay, hold on. So in later Disney products it is, like Dreamlight Valley. And if you Googled it right now, this photo would pop up. However, that photo is at night. I haven't watched this movie in a long time, but I distinctly remember the ice skating scene, which is one of the few daytime outdoor scenes showing the castle as Belle walks out. And it does, and it's not purple. I'm really bad with house colors, but to me it looks like a sandstone color with a dark wood trim. My father-in-law also was a Disney animator in this era and worked on this movie. So I decided to ask him if it was purple, and he said, no, it's a classic European castle color. So that's definitely something that really bothers me. By the way, he attached this photo for reference for me. I feel like someone accidentally took the night photo and didn't make sure, and now it's just purple. And it's not! I've been to Japan Disneyland, which has a Beauty and the Beast castle and ride, which is amazing, by the way. Don't look up anything prior to riding it, just go in blind. And I saw the exterior, and while the purple isn't as vulgar, it still confused me then too. Plus, what castle is purple? Disney Castle is based off of the ones from the park, and I know some of them are pink. They're not meant to be real, but the purple is just kind of out there. I also think the color scheme doesn't make the set look quite as impressive as it should. The pink, the blue, and gold flow together so well on the Disney Castle, but the red, tan, and lilac are just really harsh. Why? Why did they do this? I don't know if this was LEGO repeating this mistake or if Disney insisted it's these colors, but for such a big part of the set, it's a bummer. In terms of the interior, we have a lot of really iconic scenes displayed there. I don't know if the layout is technically correct, but also cartoon houses don't make a lot of sense either, and I doubt castles are held to that same standard. Not to mention, it's not advertised as a one-for-one. It's not an architecture set. On the bottom floor, we have the grand staircase and the ballroom. The second floor is the dining room where the best moment in Disney music movies happened. Be our guest. We all wanted to be invited to that dinner party. Screw getting your letter for Hogwarts. I want that. Minus the Stockholm Syndrome. Well, I mean, you saw the spread. I'd be open to it, especially if I was a cartoon princess. The third floor is a mashup of Belle's room and the library. The final, I guess, fourth floor, but it's like a weird attic thing. Front facing part has a stained glass window. You can't see it, but I'm doing little air bunnies of the ending of the movie. The interior is the rose. I feel like it's super iconic, but it's the one in the glass canister. There's a witch who casts a spell on the prince, and he's rude to her, turning him into the beast, and he has to find someone to love him while looking like a beast before the rose dies. So this is that rose. And then there's also a tower coming up off of this level, but it's just aesthetic. The mint green on this looks nice. I do think if the purple was tan and the tan was dark brown and the red stayed red, this would be fine because it's a small accent. If you couldn't tell, I think the color is a massive issue with this set. Another thing that really bothers me with this set is the downstairs. There's this massive gap in the middle of one of the rooms that just exist there. I know this was so we could slide in the stairs, but like, I don't know why it's laid out this way. A, why did we need to slide it in? And B, why didn't they add just like another little basic piece in there? Like, it's so much exposed brick, it doesn't look good. I mean, like literally, if there was just like another base plate that could be there instead of like this sinkhole in there, like why are we there? I know technically I could fix it, but when it said it's $280, I don't want to. Plus, I think there's gotta be something very fun that they could have done with it. I personally do have an idea in my head how this could have been done better, but I don't know how to conceptualize it for you. I think the staircase should have been sideways and going into the ballroom, and this literally could have been a normal entry like how we see in the movie, but the grand staircase layout is kind of odd. I don't care if the back of the staircase doesn't really make sense. It leads into the ballroom and it not just makes it look odd. But this to me is such a weird miss, especially when they did an insanely good job with the rest of the interior of the set. The decorative figures and embellishments on the outside are insane. Their builds are also a ton of fun, but there's some weird notes with this one. I did a full review on Disney Castle, so it's only fair I give this one a full review before we talk about the differences. I was going to talk about this later, but it is pretty insane right now that I'm holding this whole set in my hand, and it's supposed to be the successor to a set that I couldn't even put on the table at the same time as this one. Skill 6 out of 10. It's long but beginner friendly. I would say I would put a few builds under your belt before this, but like, it is doable. Aesthetics 7 out of 10. I struggled with this because there's some parts of this that I really liked, but there's some parts that were so bad to me that I also disliked, so I kind of chose the middle of the road and chose 7 out of 10. Durability 8 out of 10. It's a little above average. I felt like I could move it around pretty easily. Obviously I'm holding it in one hand and I feel safe doing that. I do feel like you could give this to an older kid and they could play with it and, you know, it'd be fine. Value 7 out of 10. I do this metric based off the price per piece, which is exactly what it sounds like. Normally a set will range anywhere from 6 to 12 cents. This one's 9, which I'm very happy with for a licensed IP, so that was pretty good. Time 10 out of 10. Normally I average about like 350 to 425 bricks per hour. This one was kind of insane. I averaged 465 bricks per hour, which wow. The other insane thing about this to me is I filmed this in pretty much one go with like a little lunch break in there. Joy 9 out of 10. The color really bothers me the more I'm looking at this while it's done. The build itself was really joyful and I found it to be a lot of fun. It's well paced and there's kind of a nice detail of like, there's kind of a nice balance of detail work and then also structure work. Overall C tier, it's good. It's kind of average. This probably will appeal mostly to people who have built Disney Castle and want another castle to go with it. But I worry that this doesn't have the same draw to it as Disney Castle does. Let's talk about that. I'm gonna put this down too because my arms kind of hurt. I worked out arms today. Obviously, I mentioned earlier I can't fit them both on the table, so I'm going to use some B-roll here between like me being on the table and the microphone, and that it's just like not safe. When looking at these two side by side, there's some obvious differences. Disney Castle is around 1,900 pieces bigger, so obviously it's going to be bigger and more impressive. Between the two, Beauty and the Beast Castle is far superior when it comes to minifigures. We got 11 characters within here, and on Disney Castle we got 8. There was a lot of iconic minifigures missing from it that was referenced quite a good amount, like Beauty and the Beast. Now granted, that could be because they were planning on doing the set, but there's also like Jasmine and Aladdin that were missing, and also Mulan and I believe Shang. I haven't watched that movie in a while, but like those should have been in there at least. Those are missing, and I really doubt we are getting a palace for Jasmine and Aladdin or Mulan and Shang anytime soon. Also, both sets had stickers, but Disney Castle had what felt like 50 and this one had what felt like 5, so that was a massive improvement. While I don't really like stickers being on sets over $100, when it's not really disruptive to the build process, I can let it slide. In terms of overall aesthetics, if you ignore the color, I love the way these structures look and the embellishments so much. They have two entirely different vibes, but they both look fantastic. Disney Castle being bigger honestly is going to draw more people to it. It looks impressive and it looks like a cool set to build. If I'm being honest, that's like half the reason why I got it. It looked so impressive, I wanted to know what that build would be like, and this doesn't have that factor. The color on Disney Castle is really cohesive. It definitely lends to the set and adds to the grandness when it's not the sole thing that you're looking at. On Beauty and the Beast Castle, the colors clash so much, it's most of what you can see when you look at it, which is a shame because you lose a lot of the embellishments and details on this that make it so cool. Also, Disney Castle is a little unique in that I didn't know whether to display the inside or the outside of it. Ultimately, I chose the outside because I knew more people would recognize it, but I don't feel like the inside of Beauty and the Beast has that same wow factor, especially because of the first floor. There are some improvements of the set that I cannot ignore, and I did like the set despite how critical I'm being of it. I think there's one massive issue with the set that really holds it back from its true potential. I can see where the designers were going with it, and I'm disappointed. This is a good set, but it really should have been a great set. Anyways, if you disagree with me, I would love to hear it down below, or if you agree, or if you have any other points to add, I love to hear your feedback. It seriously makes me feel so happy that somebody, like that I can inspire dialogue. So if you do have any thoughts, let me know down below. I am trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so if you wouldn't mind tapping subscribe, that'd be great. I did just get the Eiffel Tower, and that will be a video coming at some point. It is kind of a giant build to do, but I'm very excited to do that with you. Thank you so much for sitting through this video, and thank you to channel members, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye!